Welcome to the Mipar tutorial on notes and flags. Notes and flags are features that were introduced for the first time in version 1.2.0, which we are running for this tutorial. So we'll start by opening the image processor. And let's go ahead and load in an image and a recipe that we might want to add notes and flags to. So here we have a recipe detecting dendritic particles separate from their matrix or their background. And it's a moderately sized recipe. We start with a linear artifact reducing filter, a background flattening, some contrast adjustment, a noise filter, and then an edge find. And from the edge find we ultimately remove large background features. Then we go back where we have our background flattened image, do a adaptive threshold to roughly detect features that are darker than their surroundings, erode them and clean them a little bit before finally using them as markers to keep any features in this selection that contact features that we have in the marker selection. So we end up with ultimately this segmentation here. Now, there are a few steps here which are critical to the success of this recipe, and there are some steps, some of the same steps, but some other ones too, that we might want to annotate and make custom notes to remind ourselves what the purpose is, or to share this recipe with others and have them have a clear understanding of what our thought process was. So notes and flags allow us to do this. Any step can be flagged just by clicking on the particular step and clicking flag. That highlights the title of that step's help and puts a flag icon next to it here in the recipe panel. So whenever that step is clicked on, now it lights up yellow, and that flag is of course there to remind you that it is an important step. That's what the flag means, that we're indicating that it's just a significant step. Now that step can also be noted. Every step has default help text that appears, and that text isn't going away, but you have the option now to switch into notes mode, which lets you type in something custom, something like removes background gradients. Now that step also gets a notes flag, or a notes icon, indicating that this step has custom notes attributed to it. So when that step is clicked now, instead of the default help text, the notes are shown. You can switch back to looking at the help just by switching back into help mode. It doesn't erase the note, it just shows you the default help text. You can always look back or edit the notes by switching back into notes mode. To erase notes, just remove them and click off. The notes flag goes away. To unflag the notes icon goes away. To unflag a step, just turn the flag off. So in this recipe you might want to take a step like the edge find filter, certainly, and say that is important, and this critically finds boundaries of features. Increase threshold to lower sensitivity. And this step down here where we project background features, this is also an important step, and I want to give it some notes to say that this removes majority of background features based on pixel area. And lastly, we have this critical adaptive threshold step, which selects features that are darker relative to their background increase threshold to select more pixels, increase window size if feature scale is coarser. And now you see we have a clear idea when we run the recipe what are the first steps that we might want to adjust in the case of a recipe not performing optimally, and the notes can tell us how might we want to adjust them, or at least give us some insight into the user's mind behind why that step is there. Obviously, a flagged step doesn't have to have notes, and a noted step doesn't have to be flagged. Those are two independent controls that you now have over annotating a particular recipe. So, of course, if we were to save the recipe and clear it out, load it back in, now our notes and flags are, of course, still there. So those are notes and flags. We hope they help improve the readability and allow you to record more of your thoughts into a recipe, and hopefully they'll allow us to include more of our thoughts when we deliver custom recipes to you. Thanks very much for your attention. As always, contact us with custom recipe and tutorial needs, and we'll see you next time.